in this short demo, what we're looking to show you is a basic eConfig Cloud power configuration from scratch. So what we'll do, we'll look to go through an initial order and roll through that, highlighting some of the features such as the repository and how to export the configuration in a number of formats. There are a different number of options when you join eConfig Cloud, others being creating an upgrade, which is a MES upgrade, so adding onto an existing system. We could also open local CFR files. So say if you had something previously saved on your desktop or something from the older version of the desktop configuration tool, you can also utilize that. So basically you can have the same sort of options that you had previously in the desktop version. So if I look to create my initial order, the first page that you come across is selecting your brand and selecting your server. So obviously I'm here based in the UK, so I'd look to select a London-based system, and of course we're doing power. Your configuration name is quite important to get to be what you want it to be, because whatever you name it, it will export it as that, and it also will save it as in your repository as that. So bear that in mind when you're naming your configuration initially. So in this configuration, I'm going to do a demo of an S914. So the first page the tool will bring you to is the global settings. So in the global settings, you'll have your area that you're actually generating the configuration for. You'll have pricing options and you'll have the default options. This is exactly the same as eConfig Desktop. Again, you have this will define, say, items like your power supplies, say your pricing, keyboards, yes, stuff like of those sorts of items. Also on here, you have the option to configure withdrawn products if you wish to do so. And again, you can either tab it through using the arrows if you wish to do so. So again, we have all the usual default options for your software, which will be across your configuration. So you can see here, System I, you've got electronic delivery and one-year maintenance. So if I did a System I system, that would be what it defaulted to. Exactly the same as across the desktop version. So if I OK that, I finish. So what the tool now does, it starts to line up with the actual catalog for you to actually create your configuration. So there's two ways for you to start your configuration. You can either look to search the catalog, say if you actually know that particular model number, and if it's something that you're doing all the time, you're likely to, or quite simply, the easiest way to do it will be to roll through the menu bars and do it this way. Yep. So the system will then update, and I'm actually within my configuration now. So you can see that we have all the familiar kind of suggestions that we'd have previously. So if I put up extended edition, and again, you can either look to jump through the menus, or you can go through them in a logical fashion. And then what the tool will do, it'll put a tick box against the item that you have viewed. So if I go to the storage, so there's actually quite a few nice features here. You can actually start to filter the hard drives because, of course, we've got lots of different versions. Some systems have more than others, but we can actually filter it by form factor and different options within here. So for this system, I'm looking to use a standard hard drive. So if I select that, what the system will do was then I'll only have those to show and to select from. It makes it much easier for you to be able to do that. And adapters, I tend to find that there's lots of adapters on offer. So with this being a web tool, you can simply use Control F, which is basically a find. So if I'm looking for a 16 gig, 2-port fiber channel adapter, it makes it much easier for me to search and find that within the tool. These little things do make it much easier to find things. You can also use the find feature, which again is the same sort of collaboration as the desktop version. So you can put in your feature code. It will then give you a view of where actually within the tool it exists. So if I do EJ32, it will then tell me that is within the adapters. You can see there it is. Again, what we can do is step through. Again, if once you learn and you understand the tool, you can start to really pick out the elements that are relevant to you. So you know that certain ones will have requirements depending on what technical configuration you're actually trying to achieve. And you can see we're coming to the completion of our configuration. So for the moment, I'll put no service pack. We've finished the configuration. So now the configuration is finished. What the system does, once you click finish, it auto saves that within your repository. So if I open that in a new window, you'll be able to see that I've done a demo configuration there. And as per usual, you have your error messages, your validation messages to run through. And if we just OK these, again, this is a standard as per usual configurations. So if I validate that, so we'll find that our proposed configuration is as expected and comes out in the usual text file format that you tend to view. Yep. So you have your viewpoints as per usual. And again, you can have your diagram to view if you wish to do so. You can either save your diagram to clipboard, or you can actually save it to file. Yep. Also, on the left-hand side here, you're actually the server configuration itself. And if you wish to add software products to do it, again, same sort of format as per eConfig desktop. So you have your software configurations as per normal. Yep. You can look to add those to your configuration as you wish. If I validate that, export is over here in the top left-hand corner. You can either look to export it as a multiple files, or you can look to actually email it to yourself. So if I export it as multiple files, what it'll do, it'll then export out all those files into my download zone, into my desktop. Again, notice that the name stays the same. and all the files will download. Yep. The neater way to do it, which is what I tend to do, is to use it into a single zip file. So rather than having multiple files, just go straight into a zip, which makes it easier to email if you wish to do so, or pass over. Okay, and that's how you export. One of the key items of eConfig Cloud is the repository. So here within the repository, you can save your configurations. What you can actually also do, you have a number of options. You can either look to view it in the repository, which will give you a snapshot of how the configuration looks. Yeah. Before you look to load it up. Or the other options you have, you can actually restore the configuration to continue to work on it. You can export it. Of course, you can put it to trash. You can modify the name or description. And one of the good features of this particular tool is that you can share it. So you can actually share it to people within your organizations or external to your organizations. What you'll need to do that is the IBM ID. So whatever they're using to log into IBM Partner World. So you can give them the access as a collaborator or an owner. If they're an owner, they then can delete it and you wouldn't have control of that. You can also look to lock configurations, so you can keep them. And again, it kind of gives that flexibility of trying to use the tool as a Microsoft Cloud edition. So if you have regular configurations you're looking to do, it might well be a good idea to save that within the actual repository. So the other item I was looking to show you is to do an upgrade. Again, it's the same sort of format as you'd expect before. Make sure you've got your brand and configuration name. But here we have a couple of options that are in addition to the desktop version, which are pretty useful. We can either look to get our source from a number of different areas. We can either look to build on a configuration within our eConfig repository, which I just previously showed you, or we can look to build it onto a local file. Inventory service is the most common place for us to download a CFR file to build on top of. That will actually take you to the inventory services page, and then you'll have to enter your details to bring out the configuration. Manual entry, this is for, I suppose, if you had a situation that you don't have access to that particular inventory. Obviously, be very careful with that. And we also have quick retrieval. Quick retrieval, I do find the most useful. So all you have to do is put in the machine type and serial number and select the country, and then basically start your configuration and it will find it for you straight away. Okay, many thanks for your time for joining this quick demo. If you have any questions, myself and the Tech Data team are always happy to help you. Thank you.